This one is just a very interesting case. There's all these images are from outside, so I honestly don't know how. I have kind of a little bit of information how it was called, but I don't have the actual reports. I don't know. So this is a woman in like middle-aged woman. This is the most remote MR we have. This is from August 30th. See, I'm not lying to you. It's all outside imaging. So August 12th from 2013, you can see there's a lesion, right? Kind of bright on T2 and, you know, enhances pretty avidly and then enhances and then enhances, right? And then on the very delayed, still enhances. So it was called hemangioma, which I think is right. Like, would anybody not call this hemangioma?
Uh, I call hemangiomas as much or more based on its T2 weighted characteristics as the enhancement characteristics. And if you have the ultra fast T2s and it's hard to see, it makes me nervous. This is pretty, my point of reference in those is kind of like to be a hemangioma, it's supposed to be about as bright as fat.
Yeah.
And this isn't quite there. So maybe I'd be a little bit nervous about confidence on the hemangioma. Then the pattern of enhancement is not hemangioma like, is it?
Well, it could be flash filling, right? Enhances an
But
arterial
it's
phase.
it's big for flash filling.
True, true. Okay, so but I think this was read as a hemangioma in
Mm-hmm.
2013. Again, I don't have the report, so but this is what I was told. So then in 2017, again, outside institution, patient had MR, and there you go, right? So I think at this point, this is not a hemangioma, right?
No.
That being said, it was still called probable hemangioma,
Yeah, that's the problem.
right?
Sometimes when something's been stated, it takes even more guts to come off
Right.
that diagnosis.
Right. So I think maybe it was what was fooling people is that like it does look like maybe early on I mean I guess you can see how somebody could potentially misinterpret this as peripheral nodular enhancement. I don't know.
Can you show me the T2 again? Sorry.
So on T2 this was so yeah, so here's the T2 is really
It
ugly
doesn't look like
looking.
it. Mm.
No. This is really ugly looking. So like right. I mean like, but this again, this is how it was read as hemangioma. So I'm trying to figure out like what fooled people. Again,
Um,
I don't have the actual report, but I mean I'm
I've
thinking that maybe this right this
I
kind
ha-
of
I've
this is
seen
what fooled them.
people that look at
Now I'm getting scared.
what is a targetoid type enhancement in a
Right.
primary or metastatic lesion in the liver, and they think because they're so common, they think they're looking at peripheral nodular enhancement typical for hemangiomas. So I have a couple of cases in peer review that were called probably hemangioma or hemangioma that turned out to be things like cholangiocarcinomas and Mets because of
Right.
people putting too much weight on what they appear like in terms of enhancement. And I think that's the enhancement is what steers people wrong, and they really need to make more put more weight into the T2 characteristics.
I want to see
Okay.
those cases, Steve.
So wait. So this is now. So this was in 2013. This is in 2017, right? So the lesion clearly grew, but I guess again, like I don't know what was the thinking process at this point, but it was still called hemangioma. So now patient came back with July, and you can see that. Okay, so I think the T2 is really like it has this very ugly looking targetoid appearance.
Yeah.
And then I think there was a diffusion. Well, so diffusion is not great, but again, you can see that it has that targetoid diffusion
Was it
appearance.
restricting before? Like the second?
Was it restricted before?
It does.
That can be a little confusing on the hemangiomas
Yeah,
because the T2 shine
yeah,
through if it's true, but
yeah. So it's hard to say here. It's hard to say in the regional images on the 2017, it's hard to say. It's also not a great location.
Mhm.
But now you can see like it has a targetoid appearance. And then so again, I think at this point they've raised the concern that it's not a hemangioma.
Yeah.
So that then the patient was sent to us for resection. So this is what's interesting to me. So at this point, like if you look at this, right, this is fairly classic for peripheral cholangia, which
Mhm.
is what it turned out to be on path. But what I never seen before is that these things can be so slow growing. This is 2013,
Wow. Yes.
right? It's 2013. So admittedly, like when I saw this, I'm like, oh, it's cholangia. But then when I saw, God, 2013, I've never ever seen cholangio just like slowly grow from 2013, like for 6 years.
Mhm.
Pretty
Um,
indolent for that diagnosis.
right, right. So like I'm like, well, okay, are we looking at like a very strange, partially thrombosed hemangioma, sclerosed hemangioma that's just weirdly increasing, but that doesn't make any sense. So anyway, so we stuck with probably cholangio and patient got resection, so it's all confined to the liver, so it is cholangio, but so I guess the teaching point is that very small cholangiomas can mimic flash filling or like small hemangiomas, and I guess they can be quite indolent for a while before they like really explode.
Wow.
Okay.